What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today I decided to do something a little bit different than my usual dancing format. I have decided to predict some of the major plot points in the upcoming film Sonic the Hedgehog 4. For those of you who haven't seen these movies, the Sonic Cinematic Universe is a series of films based on the Sega video game Sonic the Hedgehog, starring the titular character and his gallery of friends, allies, and enemies. The films have been met with a positive reception, even by yours truly. So with the fourth film coming out in March of 2027, I thought it'd be a good idea to do a video on what I think is going to go down in the upcoming cinematic masterpiece. Now, I just want to be upfront about one thing. Nothing in this video is confirmed yet, so let me know if I miss anything. I'm going off my own logic, the inspiration for the films, as well as my interpretations based on the casts and interviews with crew members. So, without further ado, let's get into the meat and potatoes of Sonic the Hedgehog 4. There will be spoilers ahead, so you've been warned. Prediction 1. Amy Rose will be Sonic's girlfriend in Sonic 4 and all future films. Amy Rose is the primary love interest of Sonic, always being the driving force of some of the video games. Because the Sonic Cinematic Universe is taking inspiration from these, it would make sense that Amy Rose would play a key part in the franchise, especially if the team behind the SCU are respecting their source material. I also think that they'll explore part of Amy's backstory like they did with Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and Shadow, either sticking to the source material and having her read tarot cards predicting the meeting between her and Sonic, or something else entirely like they did with other series like Sonic Boom or Sonic Underground. Prediction number 2. Sonic the Hedgehog 4 will introduce the character Silver the Hedgehog. Now, I know some of you guys are probably going to go down to the comments to tell me that this claim is absolutely crazy, but if you think about it, this isn't the first time that the Sonic Cinematic Universe has done this. When the first Sonic the Hedgehog film came out in 2020, they teased Miles' Tails' prowess for the second film, which came out in 2022. I know that Knuckles the Echidna was in the trailers for the second movie, but we're talking about the films specifically and not any teased information given to us beforehand. Now, the reason why I think that Silver the Hedgehog will make an appearance in Sonic 4 is the casting of the film, specifically the voices of Nick Offerman and Ben Kingsley. For Nick Offerman, you might know him if you watched the Lego Movie or Hotel Transylvania 2, and as for Ben Kingsley, you might know him if you've watched the live-action remake of Disney's The Jungle Book. Now, if the team behind the SCU decide to bring Silver the Hedgehog into the franchise, and specifically this movie, there are two ways they can take it. If they cast Offerman as Silver, he could be an adventurous and gruff character with a loving and protective personality, and if they cast Kingsley, they can make him a wise and peaceful character who only chooses violence as a last resort. Depending on whether Nick Offerman or Ben Kingsley will voice Silver in Sonic 4, or whether or not they decide to introduce Silver in Sonic 4 at all, he will likely be either a helpful guide and ally for Team Sonic, or an additional member of Team Sonic, either in this film or any future films down the line. There's also a claim from journalist Jeff Snyder that Kingsley will play a key role in Sonic 4, which further supports my idea that if Silver does appear, he's likely going to be a wise and helpful ally to Team Sonic, or an additional member. Prediction number 3. Metal Sonic's involvement. In the 2024 film Sonic the Hedgehog 3, they teased Metal Sonic in the mid-credits scene, which would imply that the character would have a big part moving forward. Metal Sonic in the video games is a creation developed by the franchise's main antagonist, Dr. Ivo Eggman Robotnik, and serves as a major obstacle for Sonic in most adaptations he's in. And considering that Robotnik has had somewhat of a vendetta/obsession against Sonic since the first film, it would make sense that Robotnik has created a perfect replica to counter his nemesis, along with an army of clones, possibly while in hiding between Sonics 2 and 3. Which leads to prediction number 4, Dr. Robotnik's involvement. So this is one that I'm a little iffy about because, as some of you may not know, Dr. Robotnik is the main antagonist of the franchise and is hands down one of my favorite villains ever, which is why I'm so confused as to what his story arc is going to be in Sonic 4. At the end of Sonic 3, Robotnik chooses to betray his grandfather Gerald and save the world from his grandfather's Eclipse cannon, and Jim Carrey was confirmed to reprise his role in this next movie. Any way you slice it, my prediction is that he might reveal a few things about his past, because that concept feels like an important theme for some of the characters up to that point. while also becoming more anti-heroic than pure evil, similar to Shadow, which leads to prediction number 5, Shadow's involvement. The end of the third Sonic film revealed that Shadow survived the explosion of Gerald Robotnik's Eclipse cannon that was created to destroy humanity, implying that Shadow will play a major part in Sonic 4. For those of you who don't know your Sonic lore or haven't seen any of the SCU films, Shadow was sent to Earth inside of a comet and taken in by Gerald's granddaughter Maria, and after her death, Shadow became embittered by this tragedy. However, after Sonic convinces Shadow that the love Maria had for him was stronger than anger and revenge, Shadow redeemed himself. This event at the end of Sonic 3 might carry over into Sonic 4, with Shadow aiding Team Sonic and their allies Amy and Silver, if the SCU includes him, and likely having visions of Maria to encourage him or guide him. Either way, I think that Shadow will likely learn more about being a hero while also feeling some pain from his tragedy, but now able to control this trauma much better than he did in Sonic 3. Prediction number 6, the status of the Chaos Emeralds. Now, for this prediction, I hope that the Chaos Emeralds make it get into the franchise more. I will say that the Chaos Emeralds might appear in either Sonic 4 or any future films because of Silver the Hedgehog being in his super form to destroy Gerald Robotnik's Eclipse cannon at the end of Sonic 3 and revealing to have survived. This makes me think that if Shadow does indeed have an important role in Sonic 4, then the Chaos Emeralds will too. There's also a slight chance that if they bring in Silver for Sonic 4, then that would mean that they could bring in one more green-themed character in the future and split the Chaos Emeralds' power among them. Blue for Sonic, yellow for Tails, red for Knuckles, pink/purple for Amy Rose, white/gray for Shadow, cyan for Silver, and a green character for the Green Emerald. Likely Sonic's brother Manic from Sonic Underground if they decide to pull from other series. Prediction number 7, the Sonic CD inspiration. There are some movies out there that take inspiration from their source material. The Divergent and Hunger Games films are all based on young adult novels. Movies like My Little Pony from 2017 or Miraculous, Ladybug, and Cat Noir from 2023 are based on their respective shows and series. And in the case of the Sonic Cinematic Universe, those films take inspiration from the Sonic the Hedgehog games. For Sonic 4, the writers Pat Casey and Josh Miller revealed that they were planning to take Sonic and his friends to worlds beyond Earth, spawning multiple theories by fans that the film will likely be inspired by Sonic CD, which is where Amy and Metal Sonic debuted. As for me, I think that this will be great for the franchise because it takes ideas from the fans and makes sure that it's satisfying for everyone. So, those are my 7 predictions for Sonic the Hedgehog 4. I know that some of these claims are pulled from different sources or based on my own logic and understanding, but if these ideas are in fact the direction that the director and writers have for the Sonic Cinematic Universe, then that would be so cool. It could reintroduce tropes that were present at the start of the franchise while also supporting the fans and other creators out there who love these films. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to help me surpass MrBeast's subscribers, and have a great day. Bye.